We don't always know how or how long our recovery is going to take. You can't put a timestamp on that. You can't put a timestamp on your recovery, but you can articulate why you're doing it. He talks about the tyranny of how. Basically, people don't start things or don't finish things or don't move on because they don't know how they're going to do it. And if we eliminate that as being a necessity, you will take that pressure off of you to put a timeline on your recovery. You can tell when you've gotten to the root of the reason why you're doing this, when you feel it go from like cerebral reasons to when it goes to your heart. All right, welcome back to the show, everybody. My name is Clark Lovell. I'm your host. If you're new to the show, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Something I wanted to talk about today, I think this is probably the most important thing that you can do when you're going through injury, is know your reason why you are going through it, why you are continuing to press on when things get tough and when the stuff hits the fan. And I want to share with you an exercise that I had to do. I was listening to a podcast that actually was a live event online by a guy named Graziosi. He's big in the self-development, entrepreneurial development space online, and he shared an exercise that a consultant had done with him. His name was Joe Stump, and the exercise was called the 7 Levels Deep. And I think this is critical for anybody who is going through injury, because there are days when you just don't want to. When you just want to hang up the horn or the piano. I mean, if you can hang up the piano. Or just throw in the towel. You have to know why you're going through it, why you're choosing to go through recovery, why you're choosing to still be a musician. And in this exercise, he asks you, why are you doing it? So in my case, why are you a trumpet player? Well, when I was... you give a reason. Like when I was 12 years old or 11 years old, I wanted to learn an instrument, and the trumpet had the most beautiful sound for me, and things like that. And then you ask why again, and you essentially do that 7 times. But I wanted to share that with you because for people that I've talked to, and for myself included, it's been such a game changer. We don't always know how or how long our recovery is going to take. Or how long it'll be until we get back to playing with our favorite groups, or to gigging, or to teaching. You can't put a timestamp on that. You can't put a timestamp on your recovery, but you can articulate why you're doing it. And that will help you get through those question marks of how. Tony Robbins, probably the biggest guy in self-development, he talks about the tyranny of how. Basically, people don't start things or don't finish things or don't move on because they don't know how they're going to do it. And if we eliminate that as being a necessity, you will take that pressure off of you to put a timeline on your recovery, on your coming back. And so to continue with this 7 levels deep, the first couple of reasons will be superficial, but as you get deeper, you can tell when you've gotten to the root of the reason why you're doing this, when you feel it go from like cerebral reasons to when it goes to your heart. And why I love this exercise is because we as musicians are, we're artful beings. We are wanting to express ourselves in such a deep way. That's why we're musicians, is because our art form is such a deep, soulful venture. And so this may not take you super long to get down to your real reason why. And for some others, it may take a little while. But I would just encourage you to, when times get tough, you'll have that reason why, that 7th level deep, why you are choosing to keep with it, or why you're choosing to move on. Some people, when they recover from their injuries, they decide that that's the end of this chapter, and they go on to the next chapter of their life. But most of you listening to this podcast right now are in that camp of, no, I am going to get through this and I'm going to come back a better and stronger musician because of it. And then if you have your reason why you're going through it, you'll be able to not only get through it, but you'll also be able to help others get through their injuries or get through their hard times and all the other situations you'll find yourself in. You'll be able to get through anything. If you focus on your why, you will do anything to achieve your why. And so just keep that in mind during the hard times, and you will find that you will be able to jump over hurdles that you in your recovery that you hadn't been able to before. Things will be less troublesome for you or less anxiety inducing if you know your reason why. You'll have that at your core and you'll be able to get through anything. So keep at it. Trust the process, as the saying goes, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for listening into our conversation today. I hope you got as much out of it as I did. Make sure you share this with a musician you care about who's going through injury, or a music educator in your life, or anyone just trying to make it in life. If you have a suggestion for a guest or topic to cover, shoot me an email at trustprocesspodcast@gmail.com or send me a message on Facebook or Instagram. Before we go, I just want to give a heartfelt thank you and shout out to my team, Daniel Baldwin, who is my audio engineer, Kevin West, who does all music and sound effects for the show, and my sister Dana Lovell, who created the logo and promotional materials. We wouldn't have this show without them. So tune in next time for another episode of Trust the Process.